My name is Dr. Lizzie Burns. I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own origami virus. Now, when we're unwell, we may have caught a virus, and the way our body spots them is through making antibodies. So hopefully you've made some origami antibodies, but next we need to make the viruses, which also encourage your antibodies to grow in number. And the best way of all really is to grow your antibodies through vaccines, which encourage you to make lots of antibodies, so hopefully you can get rid of these viruses very quickly. So just to show you a little bit more what a real virus would look like, obviously we've been hearing so much about viruses. Hopefully you've got a sheet like this so it shows a drawing of a real virus and also how to fold up these pieces, and I'm going to try to show you how to do that. So here's also a little sculpture of a virus. So it's got these viruses will have lots of spikes on the outside, and that's to be able to latch onto the surface of a cell and go inside, and then hopefully those antibodies will spot it. But just to show you, this little sculpture actually opens up. So it's spiky on the outside, which is the outside that we're going to make, and on the inside you have stuff called DNA, or it can be something called RNA, but it's the sort of genes, the genetic stuff that encodes making more viruses. So they have a little bit more to them than the outside spikes. But just to show you that. So, right, we're going to have a go at building and making. I hope you're going to enjoy this. So it depends how many pieces you make as to what sort of what shape you're making too. So we're going to learn how to make separate little units, and depending on how many you make, they will plug together to form different shapes. But I'm going to first of all show you how to make this unit. It's what's called modular origami, which is a bit like kind of Lego bricks, but with paper, and it's more complex. And it seems the first documented time of this was back in the late 60s, so it's quite old and nobody really quite knows who invented this. So I love the idea that it's been transmitted, passed on, because it's so cool. So hopefully you will join and maybe you'll pass it on as well in a good way. So grab yourself something to press on. I am going to show you how to fold 3 little units from just A4 paper, and then maybe you can start making more. I'm also going to then show you how to start putting them together. So yes, here it goes. I'm going to direct this down. I'm going to grab myself a piece of paper. So the thing is, for making the units, they all need to be the same size. So what I would recommend is taking a piece of A4 paper or letter paper, folding it in half, lining up those corners nicely. Maybe you could use scrap paper as well, paper you'd otherwise throw out. That's always rather fun. Seeing how it changes, it'd be something very unique then. I've done a good strong fold. All I'm doing now is doing a little tiny nick, and you can tear off. Keep your hand nice and close to the edge, then you can tear off that piece. That's it. Right, we're going to make a square from this. So we're going to take a corner, line it up down there at the bottom. So if you've already made an origami antibody, hopefully you're getting familiar with what to do for this. So I went nicely through that corner. We need to remove the rectangle. So turning it over, picking up this loose flap, bringing it back so it lines up. That's it. Good strong fold. And then again you can tear that off, little tiny nick. You can of course use scissors, but I think this is pretty accurate, and it's quite nice not to use scissors. Use your hands how much is possible with so little. So I'm actually, this square, I reckon we could make 4 squares from. So simply fold it in half, making a rectangle, good strong fold. I'm just making more squares, and then I will show you how to start folding. There we go. Half again. Just all need to be the same size, so as long as you do things in standard sizes. If you've got coloured paper as well, this could be really good, or scrap paper. Just keep it the same as squares, but I think the more different colours and effects, or maybe you can have drawn or written on them, the better. So I'm actually going to do some folding from just 3, which is the basic unit for building, and actually you see that in nature and in engineering as well. So here we go. So how to fold fold a piece. First of all, get your square and simply fold it in half to make a rectangle. There we go. Right, I recommend working in batches. So I'm going to do the same move 3 times. And depending on what shape you've decided to fold, I will show you in a minute, you can do lots all together. So the first move is simply folding in half. Next move is folding from the outside to the middle. And hopefully you've got a little diagram. It's a little less 3D than the antibody, so you may find it hopefully a little bit easier, but hopefully this video does help. As I said, I think diagrams are quite hard to follow, and really we learn best from each other, which is the same with any teaching, isn't it, really? There we go, so they look like little cupboards. Okay, my third one. I think it's more efficient doing the same thing 3 times than starting all over again each time. Right, so our next move is opening up this little cupboard, but just on the one side. I'm going to take this corner and fold it to that line. So there we go. Nice and lined up, but I'm realising it's hard for me to see into camera. There we go. Like so. So my next move, I think I might as well do the next move, is keeping it as it is and bringing it down to line up against the other triangle. So we've done one side on the right, maybe different for you, lining it up down there. Right. So it looks like this. And next I'm just going to fold that in. So we're going to do the same thing for the other 2. So if you found that tricky or you weren't sure, I'm about to do it again. Okay, that's one there. So again, opening it up on the same side, taking that corner, folding it down so it's all lined up nicely. Again, take your time, kept this side shut, and I'm going to fold it down to line up next to that other triangle, like so. And then just shutting over that smaller triangle, and it should look like that. So I'm going to do the third one. Opening up the side, again folding down to that line, keeping that one closed, and folding it down to line up there. And then taking that shorter side and just folding it over. Right. So our next move is we want to make a parallelogram. That way it'll be the right way round. So we're going to pick up one corner and bring it all the way up to that middle line, like so. And now if you open it up, there's like a little tongue. I want you to pick up that tongue and pop it underneath. So I'm just reversing that, tucking it underneath. That's it. There we go. Now this loose side I'm going to kind of curve, and I'm going to tuck underneath there, and it will form a really nice neat shape. Someone said it looks a bit like baklava actually. There we go. I always think of it as a nice little pastry shape. There we go. So that's one. And we're going to do the same thing again for the 2. Now they do look, the origami looks a bit like viruses, and that's because actually viruses are often made of just a small number of proteins, the same shape over and over again, and so they make these very lovely regular shapes. I'm going to take one corner and bring it up. They do look very mathematical. So bring it up so it looks like a parallelogram. Okay, take your time and be nice and careful. It's like being a scientist as well. That attention to detail is also quite calming as well. Opening that up, there's a little tiny tongue. Let's pick that up and tuck it under, get it out of the way. If you don't, it'll cause trouble later on. So you need to remember that step. Next, there's this loose bit, and I'm going to slide underneath that. So I probably have to slightly curve it round, push it in. Nice little neat shape. There we go. And now my third piece, again taking the corner, folding up to make a parallelogram, like so. And then I'm opening it up. There's a little tongue. Pick it up and tuck it under. So you can probably see why I'm not going to show you making 30 because we'll be here a long time. But it's a lovely thing for you maybe to get on and do. I'm going to take this and slide underneath. That's it. There we go. Like so. So our next move is we're going to make, I like to think of this as making bunny ears, it just helps me remember. So the shape as it is, you should just be able to push it up and you're not adding any extra folds. All I'm doing is simply taking it and folding it up, and it's kind of like little bunny ears. So on the smooth side, take the corner and fold it down to the opposite corner, like so. And then turn it to the other side. And it's the same thing, the smooth side, one corner down to the other. And what you've made there, you can actually open it up. What you've made is a little zigzaggy shape. And can you see there's a bit hard to see, but there's actually two little pockets there. And they're essential for building. If you haven't got two pockets, it's because you forgot to tuck the tongue underneath. And then you'd need to get on and do that. So that's one unit. That's one what's called Cenobi unit. I'm just going to do another one. So take your piece, fold it up, smooth side corner to corner, like so. Turn it to the other side, corner to corner. Open it up. I'm just checking it's got two pockets. Good. Yep. There we go. And then again, pushing that up. And a smooth side, corner to corner. Turning it to the back, corner to corner. Opening it up, and there we go. So how to get building and what to build? Well, it depends how many pieces you make as to what's going to emerge. If you're to make 3 pieces, you can make this kind of cool shape. If you're to make 6 pieces, you can make a cube. It doesn't look much like a virus, but it's a pretty cool shape. If you make 12, this is what we can make, and this is what I'm going to show you. Better still, it's all about patterns, so you'll feel familiar with what a cube looks like. This one, if you think of it as 4, can you see a pattern of 4? And that's what you're aiming for every side. So if you think of a pattern, 12 pieces is 4 each side. If you want to make the best shape of all, which is called icosahedron, 30 pieces, and this looks the most like a virus. Can you see it's patterns of 5 every side? Patterns of 5. And if you think when you're making it, it needs to be a 5 on each side, then it will start to emerge. I've even made one which is 90 pieces. I don't recommend this because it's pretty hard to do, but it's like a football. And here, can you see there's a pattern of 5? And in between is a pattern of 6. 6 are flat, 5 are slightly curved. Anyway, if you were to make a 90, you have a pentagon with a hexagon in between, and that's the shape, and that's like a football. But it's very hard to make. I had to make it inside a bowl so it wouldn't fall apart. So I definitely, if you want to make big, make one with 30, and it's a brilliant shape, very much like a virus. But I'm going to show you first of all how to assemble the pieces. So I've also got some pieces slightly different colours which will help to show you how to do it. So how to get them to plug together. So the way that we make, it's through pockets, which again is like nature as well, how things would interact with each other too. So we've got a pocket there, and we've got a corner of this one. Can you see they match up with shape? So all you have to do is slide one into the other. So you've got to have them at different orientations, different ways round. One, I've got the pockets up there, and I'm going to push that in, and it sits in there really quite nicely. Now my next piece, I'm just going to turn it to the other side. Again, you can see it would line up, and I'm going to push one into the other. So all of this, I have to say, the instructions alone will not be enough. It's for you to puzzle and enjoy it. It will take you time to figure it out, but you will get there, and you will feel a great sense of achievement when it does work out. Now at the moment it's not quite fitting together, and it's because this flap is underneath, so I need to pull it up And I'm going to have to tuck it into the other one, so everything interlocks into each other. So I'm going to have to pick this up and curve it round. Probably your tongue will come out at this point because it requires so much concentration. But what I'm going to try to do is curve it around. As I said, it all requires a lot of concentration, but you will be able to do it. There we go. So I managed to lock one into the other. There's a bit of a hole there, but as I push them in, they will all come together. Probably. There we go. Oh. And that is the basis. Actually, I wouldn't normally expect such a hole there. It's getting everything to fit into each other. But can you see that's a lovely shape? This is the 3 shape, which is the basis for the building. If you wanted to, you could make that into the 3 shape by getting one to plug into the other of the pocket. It's quite tricky. I wouldn't recommend actually starting with that, but that is the basis for your building. So I thought I'd show you how to make the one which is 12. I think the 30 would take too long to show, but you'll get the idea. Think of the patterns. Pattern here is 4 every side. Can you see all these triangles that it's made of as well now? All those spikes. But if you want to make the 30, which is a brilliant one, the strongest of all, patterns of 5 every side. That's how to do it. So I have made a few earlier, and I'm going to have a go at showing you how I'm going to put it together. So I have folded 12 here. They're all different colours, which will also help you see what's happening. Again, don't think of this so much as an instruction as more like a puzzle for you to get going, and hopefully you'll really enjoy this. So it's all based around the 3s. So I push one into the other, and I suppose just watch, enjoy that this will emerge. Next one, pushing one into the other. There's no glue, and again lifting that up out, and I'm going to have to curve that round to go into that. Push it all together. You'll find there's always a little hole at the end. That's fine. There we go. Right, build onto this. So I'm going to go on to the next side. There's another loose pocket there, so time to put one in. And actually you could build many different shapes from this. Maybe just experiment, but I guess I'm showing ones that seal up nicely into a ball. So again, I'm going to take one to the next, and then we can see how we're getting on. All right, I'm going to pull this up, tuck it into there. There we go. So I've built sort of 2 next to each other. Now if you look at this, as it is, you could see that you could start building this into a cube, couldn't you? You've actually got a lot of a cube there. But no, instead I'm going to build this so there needs to be another one on this side. If you're thinking of the 4, then we've sort of done half of it there. We need to keep building. But I'm going to make the 4 on each side. That's the only way I can get my head around it. So I hope this helps for you too. But it is the puzzle aspect which also makes it fun. Again, I'm going to just keep going. So in the end, everything will lock into each other. And as I said, don't take this as an instruction because this will be hard to follow in that way. But the idea of patterns, that you'll end up with wanting patterns of 4. If you've got 12 pieces, then it will come together to this neat shape called an octahedron. Right, can you see? Well, if I was adding in another, it would become the 5. And then if you did 5 on every side, it would be 30 pieces. Here, I can make this into 4. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to tuck it into there. It all takes a lot of concentration, which I think is also the real joy of this. Is that right? It doesn't look quite right actually to me. Why not? No, maybe it does. Yes, it does. So I have to concentrate lots myself for this. But can you see I've made a 4, and that's the idea on every side. So I'm just going to keep going. This is the kind of thing where I don't normally film myself doing this because I have to concentrate so much as well myself. But hopefully you'll get the hang of it as you get going as well. It's a really nice project. There we go. Can you see? So there's a 4 there and there's a 4 there. So I am getting there. Right, so let's keep going. A lot of concentration. But hopefully you're just playing this while you're also playing around making pieces yourself. So that's what I'm hoping. Oh, wondering if I've made more than 12 pieces actually. Do make sure you're just using 12 pieces. That's the right number to get a 4 on every side. Right, so I've got 4. This one needs to plug into that, so I need to make sure that matches up as a 4 there as well. There we go. How are we getting on? I think we're getting there. You can see it would take a while if I was to show you the 30. The 90, take a long time, wouldn't it? Here we go, it's beginning to come together. And I think I need another one on that side. Where are we? So you'll find that origami will... Oh, maybe I'm adding in one I didn't need there. Yes. Make sure you don't let one side get into a 5 or it's changing shape. Maybe it's mutating. So I think I had made an extra one. I think all I need to do is this one extra piece. So I'm about to seal it up. Can you see on every side now it's got a 4, a 4, and this is the area I just need to put in one more piece, and this will seal it all up into a single wall. And if this was a virus, it would have something like DNA inside there as well. So this piece will slot into this. It's really gets even trickier by the end. As you're trying to get everything to tuck into each other. So all these flaps, I can feel there's a little flap in there, needs to be pulled out. Everything needs to be on the outside. Getting there. This into this. And final piece of the puzzle, really is like a puzzle. So I'm just going to plug that into there. It's like mental gymnastics. You may have to really play around till everything fits well, but it is all possible. There we go. Made an octahedron and that's without making pieces. So the origami will definitely keep you very occupied and challenged, but it is wonderful when it comes together. Maybe this is something you could hang up, and along with your antibodies, which definitely need to go and attack it, yes, and help remove it. I hope you enjoyed that, and happy folding. Thank you. Bye bye.